Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, welcome everyone.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, welcome to our Raising Awareness event. Thank you so much for spending your Wednesday afternoon with us. My name is Stefania Dinu, and I am an ASAP advisor and also part of the wonderful LaGuardia Humanitarian Initiative committee. So thank you for being with us today. And I'd like to pass on the mic to my other colleagues just to briefly introduce themselves. Dima?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Dima Bayraktar. I'm the director of the Women's Center and LGBTQIA Safe Zone Hub, and I've been partnering with LHI, the initiative this year, specifically to kind of hold space for students to talk about the themes of home, borders, and migration. So welcome, everybody. I'll pass it to Esther.
Yes, happy Wednesday, everyone. My name is Esther Rosa. I am also part of the ASAP program senior advisor, and I also teach literacy and propaganda this semester. So I love seeing my students present here today. Welcome, everyone. Super excited to have you guys all here with us, and I'll pass it on to Rocio.
Thank you, Esther. My name is Rocio Reynoso, and I am the career specialist with ASAP and the career specialist with the LaGuardia Humanitarian Initiative. I've been with this initiative supporting students and connecting skills that they gain through civic engagement to their career. So I love being here. I love being a part of it. Welcome, everyone. I'll pass it to Jacqueline.
Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Jacqueline Nava, CUNY Service Corps Campus Manager here at LaGuardia Community College. And I'm just basically here assisting the LHI team with developing these opportunities for you to be more civically engaged. And as Esther mentioned, I love seeing my CUNY Service Corps students here, Almezi students here as well. And I think that's all of us from the LHI team. So I'm going to just open up the mic for whoever wants to jump in.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. So we also have Tuli, but before I let Tuli to take on the virtual mic, I would like to inform you that for today's event, we have Make the Road, New York, and they will talk a little bit about the project that we're partnering on for this academic year, which is to sponsor Summit Youth Internship Action Program. And they will also talk to us about the work that they do, such as fighting for the marginalized communities, police brutality, COVID-19 response, immigration counseling, actions against hate crimes towards Asians and Asian Americans. So today, throughout our presentation, you will get to identify how you could take action and support their mission, and how you can be an advocate both for you and your neighbors, for the families to feel safe and heard, and how we as a community, we can create and support a place where we feel like we belong. Tuli, the virtual mic is yours.
Thank you, Stefania, and good afternoon. Welcome everyone. I'm Dr. Tuli Chatterjee from the English department and the founder coordinator of LaGuardia Humanitarian Initiative. On behalf of LHI, I welcome you all today. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the entire community of LaGuardia, our administrators, students, staff, faculty, for making LHI possible and for their incredible support. To those who do not know, the name LaGuardia Humanitarian Initiative was given by one of our former students so that we can all work together in connecting our lived experiences and classroom learning with the community and collaboratively translate our knowledge into actions for social change. As we all know, if we want change for ourselves and for our community, we have to walk together. This entire journey from classroom to community through action workshops therefore centers on hope and change. Students receive opportunities to advocate for their communities and for themselves with the help of mentors, advisors, and community leaders. This year, we are honored to partner with Make the Road. Soon you will hear all the wonderful ways in which you can impact your community and be the voice for change that you so eagerly yearn for. LHI projects span the entire academic year. And this year, our theme for 2020-2021 is Borders, Home, and Migration. All LHI-related projects follow the 5-part structure. investigation, where you explore the theme either in class or in other spaces. Then follows the preparation in forms of in-class assignments and workshops, more opportunities to extend the investigation. Then is implementation, where we help you translate your learning into actions by connecting you with NGOs. This also involves receiving one-on-one career counseling, opportunities to volunteer, fundraise, intern, prepare your CV for life and career post LaGuardia. Then reflection. So students reflect on their LHI journey at the end of the semester. And finally, celebration. So held at the end of the academic year. This year, our celebration will be on June 8th. So mark your calendar, where students will share their work that they have done both within and outside classrooms, receive digital badges, awards, certificates, and also an opportunity to publish their exemplary work at the LHI website. Thank you again for joining us today. Without much ado, I invite LHI Committee Leader Stefania Dino to introduce our representatives and speak of our ongoing work with Make the Road. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julie. So as mentioned, this academic year, we're keeping in tune with our present social, racial, and political climate and increasing the need to connect classroom learning and community service. Us, LHI, so when I say us, it's both us, the committee, but also you as students, faculty members present here today, staff members here. We're working together to advocate, educate, and fundraise for the migrant and refugee population. And today our focus is how we can make an impact at a local level. The project for this academic year, one of them is to support Make the Road New York. And our fundraising goal is of $1,500. And so far, we've already raised $995. As previously mentioned, Make the Road New York has supported many of our LaGuardia alumni and continues to offer services to local immigrant, undocumented working class communities to achieve justice and tackle discrimination, abuse, racism, and poverty. Now, the money that we're fundraising will support and cover the cost of a summer youth action program. So we will have the opportunity to join forces and raise the stipend for 2 youth participants in the 2021 Summer Youth Action Program. And today with us, we have Kendra and Alexis from Make the Road New York. And I would like to ask both Kendra and Alexis to briefly introduce themselves and then take on to start the presentation to learn more about Make the Road New York. Kendra, Alexis.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kendra. I'm the lead organizer for the Youth Power Project at Make the Road New York, and I use she, her pronouns. I'd like to ask Alexis to unmute and introduce himself.
Yes. Hey, everyone. My name is Alexis. I'm the youth organizer in Queens, and I use pronouns he, him. And I'll pass it back to you. Okay?
Thank you so much. And Stefania, would you allow us to share screen? Would that be okay?
Yes, you should have the rights to. Is it
Great.
giving you?
I think if you can just, yeah, great. I can share my screen now. Can you all see that? Oh, actually, wait, just want to make sure that when I share it, the sound also works right there. Okay. So again, good afternoon. It is such a pleasure to be here with you all today. We are incredibly grateful to the LaGuardia Humanitarian Initiative for partnering with us this year and for giving us this opportunity, this space to share with all of you. And thank you, Stefania, for sharing a little bit of our fundraiser. And before we talk about fundraiser and all the ways that we can work with the youth directly, we want to give you a little bit of a taste of who Make the Road is and what we do. We recognize not all are familiar with Make the Road, so we wanted to just share a little bit. And actually, today is a really exciting day for us. I don't know if you've seen the news or seen Twitter, but we have won billions of dollars for our community for this new fiscal budget that was just passed in Albany. So we are over the moon excited, and I'm just so happy that today is the day that we could be here with you all. So before we share these amazing victories, just wanted to share a little bit about our model. For those who don't know, our model of Make the Road is a nonprofit, and we integrate 4 core strategies that make the change for millions of our families and our communities every single day. So those 4 points are legal and survival services to tackle discrimination, abuse, and poverty. So everything you can think of by applying to DACA or worker justice issues or wage theft issues, right? These are the legal and survival services that we provide. The next core strategy is transformative education to develop community members' abilities to lead our organization, our movement, and society, right? English might not always be everyone's first language, right? Maybe you need help with citizenship classes. These are all educational opportunities that we offer at Make the Road New York. And of course, the heart of what I do is community organizing. So working to transform the systems and power structures that impact our community, and right along with changing these power dynamics in our community, comes with putting these changes in black and white. And that's where our policy innovation comes to play, right? We want to rewrite unjust rules and make our democracy truly accountable to us all. I want to play a short clip for you. And I know just as much as all of us here, this has been an incredibly difficult year. Nobody was ready to be in this pandemic. Our communities, Black, Brown, immigrant, working class communities have been hit the hardest. And we know that it's been a year and it's been hard. And I want to show you a little bit of when we first started our fight for recovery for all. So meaning we wanted a recovery that included undocumented workers, that included formerly incarcerated people. We wanted a recovery for everyone who couldn't pay their rent and was suffering from having all these bills pile up. So I'm gonna share this quick video with you. I did not play. Hold on. When I'm in present mode, let me try that one. Can you hear it okay? Yes?
Yes, but we can't see your screen yet.
Sounds good.
Could you hear it when I was sharing it? You could?
No.
I could.
Very faintly.
Very faintly. All right, let me raise the volume 1 second.
We can't see the screen.
Yes, I'm sharing it now again, and I'm gonna raise the volume so you can hear it. Okay, let's try again. You hear that? No?
No, I think we're still seeing Stephania's screen. I think if we can have.
Were you able to see anything of what I shared before?
When I click on the top for view options and select Kendra, then I could see it for a second. For 1 second.
Stephania, do you mind unsharing your screen? Is that possible?
Stop your share.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, Stephanie, yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me try again and see if this works.
Corona is one of the neighborhoods that was hit the most in New York City by the COVID. Folks really need relief. And by relief, I mean canceling the rent. So we need to cancel the rent.
Unfortunately, many of our neighbors haven't been able to qualify for a stimulus check or for unemployment benefits. That's why we're here asking for what is fair, for billionaires to pay their fair share in taxes so that we're able to provide some sort of economic relief for the working families that make their profit possible. That's why we're marching from Corona Plaza to Lefrak City, which is owned by Richard Lefrak. He has made a killing over the past 4 months while we've all been suffering.
Estoy aquí también para demandar que Andrea Stuart llame a legislación a repelar la prohibición de caminar en público para las mujeres trans. Personalmente he sido víctima del acoso policial. Solo el hecho de caminar en la calle, la policía de Nueva York asume que voy con el propósito de prostitución y ya estamos cansadas de su acoso y arrestos injustificados, que a muchas de mis hermanas ha puesto en una deportación llevándoles a la muerte en su país de origen.
Ese lunar que tienes, cielito lindo.
It is unconscionable that the richest in this city have made themselves richer while we die on the streets of New York City. And we have a message for Governor Cuomo and the legislative leaders that we will not rest until we are able to deliver a worker bailout fund, because it is time for us to put people over profits and stop bailing out corporations before we bail out our family members.
I am angry at you, Governor Cuomo, because you don't want to tax the super rich people. Meanwhile, we are all fighting to survive. People that don't have enough money find a way to pay their taxes, but the rich don't. There are many families like my family who don't know how to get by because you don't want to help us. Governor Cuomo, you have the power to help us, but you refuse to by not taxing the super rich. Do the right thing, Governor Cuomo, and raise the taxes for the billionaires. Sincerely, Andy.
Wow, what a powerful little speaker. Even our youngest participants that make the road have so much heart and courage, and you can see that in their testimonies. And today, like I was sharing earlier, is an incredible day because everything that we had been fighting for this past year, we've won it. We've literally won it. And that was by the power of coming together and organizing across race and gender and religion. All of us here in our community fought, and we won billions of dollars to fully fund our schools, to fund emergency rent relief for tenants, and to fund excluded workers in this pandemic. So our first victory was yesterday. New York budget includes $4.2 billion over 3 years to ensure equitable resources for schools in Black, Brown, and low-income communities. This was over 30 years in the making, where Alliance for Quality Education, a coalition that we are a part of, made up of parents, students, community members, and educators, have been fighting to ensure that our public schools receive the proper funding. We know that it is often our schools, the Black, Brown, and immigrant schools, that are overpopulated and underfunded. And we have been fighting every single day for the past more than 30 years, honestly, to make sure that we get our resources to these children. And this impact of this win will resonate for generations to come. For all of the students in our public schools, I'm a proud public school kid, K through 12. And honestly, if we had more resources, I know even more students in my community could have graduated and could have continued their education. But with this huge win, we now give that opportunity to so many other babies. And it has honestly been so overwhelming to see all of these wins. The next win I want to highlight is the $2.4 billion secured to help rent relief. This includes rent relief for all of the undocumented folks, all folks who haven't been able to pay their rent these last 12 months. It actually even extends to unpaid utility bills as well. So $2.4 billion going into the hands of New York renters is absolutely incredible. And our teams have been relentless in fighting. I'm sure you've seen #CancelRent all over. And all of the work that our communities have done, phone banking and marching and banner drops and rallies and protests and calling our legislators and having meetings with legislators. It is all paying off because these billions of dollars are real. I want to show you one more video, and this video is absolutely incredible, and it's only one small bit. When I talk to you about a fund for excluded workers, I'm talking about people who work in the cash economy. Maybe you've seen them down your block, people who are selling fruits and vegetables, selling knickknacks, selling handmade things, people who work directly in the cash, people who work in people's houses, whether it's cleaning or taking care of children or taking care of elderly parents, right? The cash economy. Other people who've formerly been incarcerated, and also undocumented folks who don't have the benefits of having the federal aid and relief that has been provided to so many of us. And because we have had this fight for excluded workers, we have done everything under the sun to make sure that our elected officials are listening to the calls of the community. We've taken over the Manhattan and Brooklyn bridges. We've taken over offices. We've done phone banks. We've gone up to Albany. Yesterday, we had every single news outlet in Albany with us as we entered the Capitol and had conversations around this fund for excluded workers. One of the most brave, courageous, resilient things that I have seen this community do to win this excluded workers fund is a hunger strike. We had members of our community go on a hunger strike for 23 days to make sure that we understand that our bodies are on the line every single day, that excluded workers and essential workers do not get relief. People are dying. So this hunger strike is the first in its kind to win a $1 billion fund. And I want to just share this quick clip from the 20th day of the action, which was last Sunday.
How many days without food? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Estamos exigiendo al gobernador Cuomo que nos dé los 3.5 billones de dólares que nos debe, porque es nuestro dinero, no es dinero de él. Por ejemplo, en mi caso mío, a mí me han excluido de todos los lugares. Yo pago mis impuestos, trabajo 38 años en la calle, sirviendo a la comunidad, vendiendo mis productos. Trabajo en la 43 y Sexta Avenida, pero nunca este país me ha dado nada de recompensa. Así que hoy por hoy exijo que me pongan y me incluyan, no que me boten a la basura.
So these were some of the faces of our community members who have put their body on the line to ensure that people everywhere were included in this relief for the pandemic. It was an incredibly powerful, powerful victory. And we are so incredibly proud to say that we have won a $2.1 billion fund for these workers. It is incredible. And this is just a taste of what happens. All of these billions and billions of dollars are just a taste of what happens when our community comes together and fights together. We win. So with that, I'd like to pass the mic to Alexis.
That was amazing. I really like got emotional when we noticed that we have won, and then this is why we have built collectively, and then in our youth power project, who has been moved by youth, which we have go through like this bills that which is police for schools in the local level, and solution to suspensions, that all relates to getting together to divest school to prisons pipeline, and this meant the power of policing in our students. And if you see on the screen, we have a youth member. Her name is Tyla, from Long Island, who became part of the Times front page. And from the last year, how our youth have been impacted of this pandemic, and especially how struggling it is difficult for them to access to college, and overpopulated population. And this is like the way that we have tried to collectively organize. And one thing that I always want to highlight is that youth always make the power, and then this is why we wanted to make sure that always open the door for all of youth who wants to build that collective power. So here's one of the things I also wanted to highlight. We have been working to make sure we defund the NYPD so we can bring more funds to get more guidance counselors, more teachers, more health, mental health responders. And one of the things we want to make sure we have safe environment for our students so they can have a safe learning environment. For that, I'm gonna pass it to you, to Kendra.
Thanks, Alexis. The Youth Power Project, I have had the privilege to be here for about a year. And it is incredible how much work these young people do to make sure that their schools are safe, to make sure that all of their classmates are being treated fairly and not being just kicked out of school. Twyla is one of our very, very amazing leaders out on Long Island with me. And she's been able to share her story, and it has touched so many people, and it resonates because all of us know how hard this year has been, but it is also, students are often get left out of that. All of our online and virtual spaces, it's been an adjustment. And for students making their first plans on where to go to college, it's been especially impactful. And these are fights that we are continuing. Another fight that we're continuing, as always, is fighting for our marginalized communities. I'm sure you all have seen the massacres that have happened and the violence that has happened against our Asian community members. And we stand obviously in against that. We've signed on to the Red Canary Song letter. They have support from over 320 organizations that include these demands around the health and safety and well-being of Asian massage workers and Asian community members in general, right? We know that when violence against our communities occur, the proper response isn't to add more police, because we know that calling for more police only, because police are agents of white supremacy, police only serve to criminalize our Black, brown, and immigrant communities, and that includes our Asian American communities. So we are the ones who are keeping each other safe by banding together, making it known, and putting it in black and white how the violence against our communities, and right now the Asian American community, are unacceptable. And Alexis, I'll pass it back to you.
Yes, thank you. So as we move forward, I know that as I shared that the Youth Power Project has built and power for more than 22 years. This is one of the alumni that have been part of the Make the New York movement, but also have been part of the LaGuardia Community Center. If you see me, I was part of LaGuardia. I graduated in 2017. And there's also other staff members who have been part of the Make Their Own New York movement, who also took part of LaGuardia and has continued their movement for fighting for justice. And as we move forward to the next slide, the things that we have done with collaboration with LaGuardia is that we have fight for the Dream Act and we won the Dream Act. That was one of the biggest win that it was able to help hundreds of thousands of undocumented students to gain access to this in-state tuition for them to pay for college and be able to follow dreams and be able to attend to college. Also, we also did Know Your Rights training when our communities were impacted and targeted by ICE agents' raids, especially when it was the Trump era, and it's still going on. But I'm just wanting to make sure, like, that one of the things we did is that we did trainings not only in multiple high school but also in colleges, and we have done it for either like the majority of the years, so our community members know their rights when it comes down to immigration. Also, we had lead the fight for census. I know census is one of the biggest part of our like the movement, especially because census is the one that knows how much funding we get by the state. So it's the biggest one of the biggest movement that we have done. And with the support of LaGuardia, we were able to have a succeeded amount of year where more folks were able to register for the census. And we also collaborated with the College Access and Scholarship, and also we were able to see career events. I don't know if you saw us on the little table on the, I forgot, it was the building, the M building, where we had a little table with a little banner of Make Their Own New York, and we were just like giving like little flyers so you all can be like participating. So we were able to also do that, and which make sure like if any other youth or any like student would like need support on college matriculation process, we were able to help them out. Of course, with the support of LaGuardia in other colleges. But also one of the things that we were able to go with is the Wood versus Vidal, which is one of the biggest fight with against the Homeland Security Administration when we was saving DACA. We won and we were able to save DACA, and now there's a new applicants, and we were still defending our assistance, and we're here to stay. This is our home, and we want to make sure that we collective, we make sure that we fight for what is right and much more. And this is the moment of all that you all have been waiting for. I know this is like the start and the end time, or you all be thinking of like it's eager when like that you all want to know how can I join the movement, how can I participate in Make Their Own New York. One of the things I also want to highlight as a student, we want to make sure we categorize by four, which is one, we know that your time have, you know that you have to have time management, but also we want to make sure you all know about the interest area that you all want to be, and also the skill that you want to gain and the skill that you want to bring to the table or to the space of Make Their Own New York, and also the movement that we are in. So one of the one of the commitments that you can also participate is that we have our committees, which is one is the housing committee, the other one is the immigration committee, and the one that we just announced is the youth power project. We also have the transgender, non-conforming, intersex, queer, which also known as THNCQ, and the Padres Committee for Education and Justice. We all have been part of one organizations, and we work collectively. If we haven't worked collectively, this wouldn't be able to happen, these victories. So one of the things I also want to make sure, Kendra is gonna list the link on the chat, which is our volunteer form. Feel free to, whenever you have available time, to fill it out so we can make sure that our volunteer coordinating reach out to you. so you can start participating and joining the movement and making sure we fight for justice, because I know this is important for you and this is important for your community, and we're here to stay strong.
Thank you, Alexis. Also, because I'm sharing screen, I can't actually go into the chat and share the form. Do you mind just dropping it in the chat? That's perfect. Yep, thanks, Alexis. And just to highlight again, right, we know that joining the movement is so incredibly important because you can see everything that we win, right? And just to highlight again what Alexis said, the three major components or things that we'd like you to consider, right, is we know that your time and availability are always different, right? The skills that you have and the skills that you can contribute to the organization also vary, as well as the skills that you want to learn. And then the third thing is, of course, the moment that our movement is in, right? All of these three things are constantly changing, which is why we don't have set volunteer opportunities with a start time and an end time and specific days. All of our volunteer opportunities are unique to you, are unique to those things that I've just mentioned. And we want to encourage you all to contribute, because in a way that we can collectively come together and do a little bit, all of us, that's how we're able to come up with these three big wins. So Alexis, I hope by now, has put in the chat the volunteer form. Once you fill it out, our volunteer coordinator will get in contact with you and we'll figure out a way how to plug you in, right? Volunteering and learning about the issues around you in your community are incredible professional development opportunities as well that will serve you in multiple fields. So definitely want to encourage you to join us by filling out the volunteer form. And then, of course, the other great way that you can plug in with us is what Stefania was talking about in the beginning, our incredible collaboration with the LaGuardia Humanitarian Initiative so far has raised $995, and that's thanks to every single one of you, a part of the LaGuardia community. This fundraiser is directly supporting our Summer Youth Action Program. And you might say to yourself, well, what is that? What do you do? Who gets to join? Our Summer Youth Action Program is a summer internship that happens every single year. This past year, we actually did it virtually for the first time ever. And we are in conversations about what is that going to look like for our community members this year, right? What's going to be safest for our members. So stay tuned on if it's in person or virtual. But our internship is a 10-week internship. It goes, it could vary from that. We usually start after the 4th of July and into the middle of August, but it does vary. And this leadership opportunity is for 10 or 12 students in each of our 4 sites. So that's Long Island, Queens, Staten Island, and Brooklyn. And throughout the summer, we have workshops and teach-ins and professional development workshops around everything from public speaking, how to engage your peers about talking about community issues, how to raise awareness around the political issues around you and how you can make an impact. And of course, it talks about some of our campaigns that we always work on, which include our police-free schools, to divest in police in schools and invest in mental health resources, restorative justice counselors, guidance counselors, and then our Solutions Not Suspensions campaign, which works to reduce the harsh disciplinary punishment of relying on suspensions and kicking students out. And it favors restorative justice practices and working with students to make sure that everyone has an equitable education, because every student deserves to go to a school where they are respected, supportive, and can learn with dignity. So your donation, and people have donated everything from $5 to $10 to $20, and every little donation has amounted to this $995. And we're hoping that we can raise $1,500 so that we can support 2 students to come to our summer action program. The money goes directly into the fund for the stipends for students. So it goes directly for students. There's no, cut for materials or cut for staff. All of the donations go directly to the students' pockets, the young people who are applying. There's an application process that we share, and we can of course share it here in this community as well. The students who usually apply are the students who've been with us all year, but it is not necessarily restricted to them. We've always welcomed new students as well, and it goes through an application process where we accept, again, 10 to 12 students per site. So that's in Queens, Long Island, Brooklyn, and Staten Island. It is an incredibly important leadership development opportunity for young people, because the skills they learn here, they take it on, and they take it on in their high school classes, their college classes, in their professional world. And it is amazing to see how far all of our students are going every single year. So we hope you consider donating to our fundraiser, and I will pass it to Alexis.
Thank you for sharing that information. We're almost done. One of the things I also wanted to make sure before we leave is that the way that you all can get connected with Make Their Own New York is by following us on Instagram, our YPP Instagram, which is at MRNY YPP. And also you can also, if you want to like start from the as a volunteer, you can also join our youth power project meeting from Thursday, which you're going to be learning a little bit more about like the recent updates, and also the campaigns that we start working, which is solution suspensions and police free schools in the local and the city level. But also you can also stay tuned by Twitter or Facebook by following us in Make Their Own New York. Make sure you just follow us in that section, so you can just like make sure like just keep updated on the recent like victories that we just announced. And if you want to see a little bit more, if you want to share a little more experience, you can also comment on the sections. Or also you can text road to 52886, and you will also get new updates on your phone. And if in case you need any help on with your New Year's Dream Act, or you need any support, or you having trouble with it, you can also send us email at newyorkfordreamers@MakeTheOwnNewYork, and we'll stay connected with you. Well, this is one of the biggest pieces that we have shared with LaGuardia, and as a former student from LaGuardia, an alumni, I appreciate everyone for being here, and thank you everyone for taking the time and making sure we stay together.
Yes, thank you, Alexis, for closing us out. Like he said, we appreciate you all being here. We hope you fill out the volunteer form and join our movement. Once I stop sharing my screen, I'll also put my phone number there. And Alexis, maybe you can put yours. You're all welcome to join us on our Youth Power Project meetings on Thursday. They're usually some range between 5 and 7. And it is open. You will have a lot of fun joining us and learning about things in your community. So definitely want to encourage you to join us on Thursdays, and also follow us on Instagram. There was a lot of information we shared today, and our Facebook, Make the Road New York Facebook page will have a Facebook Live tomorrow on more information about all of the victories we shared. So we hope you tune in, and thank you again for being here with us today.
Wow. Kendra and Alexis, I mean, I think I can speak for everyone. What an incredible presentation, like just beyond and huge congratulations to you and the team for your recent wins. I mean, this is huge. And, just in terms of what you're offering to Black, Brown, and low income communities and the schools and the excluded workers, I mean, it's just so vast, what kind of the activism and the volunteerism that you've talked about, like where you've all landed. And so it's amazing. We wanted to, just a quick tie-in in terms of the theme of home borders and migration. We just wanted to kind of pose to both you and both Kendra and Alexis, if you wanted to speak a little bit, in thinking, since that's the theme of LHI this year, just sort of how does the work how does, the work and the activism, and I'm especially thinking about the Youth Power Project, how does that tie in with the theme of border, home, and migration? Or if you would like to speak a little bit to, what those terms mean for you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We super appreciate all the love. It was definitely a community effort, and it's amazing. I think for everything that we've shared today around border, home, and migration, it's the heart of what we do. This is our home. And this home has been created by everyone who's crossed many, many borders to be here. Our migration stories are so critical, and it's the core of who each one of us are, whether it's our families, whether it's our friends, our neighbors. And like Alexis mentioned earlier, we are here to stay, right? We reject any idea of going back to your country or you don't belong here. We all belong here, and everyone here deserves to live with dignity, which is why we fight for all of our community members, Black, brown, immigrant, trans. Every single community member here deserves respect, and we fight for that every day at Make the Road New York.
Thank you so much, Kendra. That was wonderful. And I'm so glad that you and Alexis spoke about volunteer opportunities, right? Part of the LHI initiative is to really support students in helping them, engage with the community, engage in organizations like yours. So in thinking about volunteer opportunities, what advice would you have to a student who's seeking out a volunteer opportunity?
I would say don't be shy, right? Some people think of volunteer opportunities as this big, scary thing. It's definitely not. Sharing a couple of hours of either your weekday or your weekend, joining us at an action, helping pass around PPE, or joining us in a workshop and sitting in and maybe helping facilitate conversations with our community members, right? These are all ways that we can participate. And I think when it comes to volunteering, like I say, I just want to emphasize the 3 points, right? Volunteering is unique to each and every one of us, right? It's unique to our time and availability. It's unique to the skills that we can contribute and the skills we'd like to learn. And it's also unique to the moment of the work that we're doing. Right now we're in a super high and it's a big victory, and there are people in Washington Square Park right now celebrating with bands and music and love. But there are also moments when it's really hard and we are in the fight of our lives and we're calling legislators, right? Even just sharing things on social media, right, is a small step to going on to that volunteer route, and anyone can do it. Our YPP IG and Make the Road IG are super accessible. We want to make sure that when we're sharing information, it's clear and there isn't, crazy technical language. So we definitely want to encourage all of you, just try it out.
Thank you so much, Kendra. And just to reiterate to the students, this isn't something you have to volunteer every single day. This is something where it's flexible. Make the Road will work with you, and you will gain skills that you can use in the workplace. Kendra, just off the top of your head, what do you think the #1 skill that students will gain when they volunteer with Make the Road? What do you think that is?
The #1 skill you'll gain is being able to compassionately relate to people, because at the heart of what we do, it's people-centered. We do what we do because we love people. We love our families and our community members, and we want to make sure that we're okay. So the work that we do every day involves talking to people, listening to their stories, and seeing how we're not so different. We're really not. At the core of what we want to do in this life, we all want really similar things: to be safe, to be seen, and to feel supported. So I think being able to reach into that humanitarian part of you and learn how to listen and learn how to relate to people is going to serve you so well in the future.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you for mentioning that. I think those skills, of relating, and especially in this environment, during a global pandemic, when we are asked to stay apart, it's like remembering that, relating is and making connections matter, right? I want to thank you both again so much for the wealth of information that you've shared today. I just wanted to open it up. I see folks are putting things in the slido.com responses to this question about border home and migration. I'm just curious, folks in the room. I mean, we have about 75 people in the space today. If anyone has any questions or reflections that they'd like to share, they can either put them in the chat or unmute and ask directly if there's anything that's coming up.
Hello, this is Tina Deruba. I wanted to know, is this something that we can only stay with for this semester, or if we like, we can continue in the future as well?
This volunteer form is absolutely open for now and always. Until there's no injustice in this world, this volunteer form will be open, and we will welcome anyone who wants to volunteer and get engaged and join the movement with us.
Thank you so much for explaining that.
Is the Slido group advisement, or there's going to be a survey that we have to fill out for group advisement?
There will be a survey at the end. This is more of a conversation, letting your thoughts out and just sharing experiences. But thank you for asking for clarification. There will be a separate survey at the end.
Any questions, anyone? This is your time to ask questions so that about your volunteering opportunities, how it could help you, how could LaGuardia support you, how could Make the Road support you. So feel free to ask any questions that you have in your mind.
I have a question.
Yes, great.
First, I want to thank you for this opportunity to listen to and be engaged in this event. It was very fruitful for me. Secondly, as an individual who can relate 100% to one of your prompts of being impacted by one of the things you mentioned, I believe I have a particular leadership skill in that area, and I already submitted the survey, and I would hope and pray that I'll be given opportunity to utilize the experience that I have with what I mentioned that I have been impacted by, that affects over 3 million people, 2.3 million people. And so I just want to just say that, and I hope that will there be anything to disqualify me based on having a close and personal connection to that?
Absolutely not. I mean, having a close and personal connection to an issue that is impacting our community is the heart of people who we want to be leading the fight, right? Your experience is so valuable because you know even deeper how to relate and how to get to the things that we need to win, to make sure that all those folks affected receive safe and supportive help. So absolutely, I'm so happy that you've already filled out the form, and I look forward to working with you. And if you don't hear from anyone, I did put my phone number in the chat, so please follow up with me.
Okay, I will. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Take care.
Hello, Stefania.
Any questions? Anyone else? It's like amazing to have Kendra and Alexis join us because they inspired LaGuardia Humanitarian Initiative, inspire LaGuardia, and we want to help and assist Kendra, Alexis, and Make the Road in every way we can, because it's our walk, our journey, our community, right? So any questions, anyone? Like, this is your time to ask Kendra and Alexis.
Hi, so this is Deruba again. So I think I missed that part. If you mentioned, I wanted to know what would be our part in this. Like, is it a fundraising? Is it something we would have to go in person with? Like in the future, even for once or twice, is that something we should expect right now with COVID-19 being a concern? Like, question is, what would be our part in this? How can we help?
Absolutely. That's a great question. And you can help and obviously, you know, making sure that you feel comfortable engaging is also incredibly important, right? There is still a pandemic and it is still very real. And some of our volunteer opportunities are online. You asked specifically, what can you get involved with, right? And that all depends on you. We have a number of committees that Alexis shared that revolve around a couple of different things. They revolve around education, immigration, justice for people who've been marginalized and racially excluded. There's so many different areas to get involved in. If you fill out our volunteer form in the chat, I can put it in again. But that'll be the way that you can get involved. And there is no set time, there are no set hours. It's really unique to what you would like to do, what you can do, and your availability. And also, again, your safety, right? And how do you feel comfortable? Maybe you don't feel comfortable coming to an in-person action, but you would be willing to join a committee and help the organizer there facilitate conversations, right? That is also an option. So lots of different options. And I did paste the form in the chat again for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem. I look forward to seeing you around. We are always working together.
I look forward to it too. Thank you.
And also, if I could add to it, so since we're partnering, LHI is partnering with Make the Road New York, you are like taking advantage of more opportunities, because if you're interested in volunteering with them, it's also through a partnership through us. So you will receive a digital badge, a certificate, you'll receive our support, like Rocio, our career specialist, will be there to guide all of you who are willing to invest time, passion, and really advocate and educate your community about the mission that Make the Road is working on. So totally, we can help you out on accomplishing this.
Yeah, thank you for adding that. I totally forgot, right? When you volunteer with Make the Road and you are consistently there and you're forming relationships with our staff, right? These are opportunities of people who would be willing to write you a recommendation letter or could be a job reference in the future, right? Because you've worked closely with them. And just like Stefania said, and if you're participating in the fundraiser for the Summer Youth Action Program, we will also be providing you with a certificate that you can also share in future instances to show that you have been engaged with the community. So definitely certificates are a big piece of that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, both Kendra and Alexis, and also to our participants and attendings, faculty, staff, and students. And I think I'm seeing some alums joining us. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us and learning about the partnership, the local partnership with Make the Road, and the difference that we can make in our local community, helping our neighbors, our family, our friends, our classmates. So once again, thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us and being invested and interested into our mission, the LaGuardia Humanitarian Initiative. If I'm not mistaken, I think Esther has shared in the chat the link to today's survey. Earlier, we were asked if there is a separate survey to ensure that students are receiving credit for today's event. This is the link here shared on the screen, and I'm assuming also via chat. So please make sure you take 2 minutes to fill it out. We want to hear your feedback. We want to know how much of the information was new and what is it that you're interested in further investing and dedicating your time with us. Thank you once more. Tuli, any final thoughts, comments?
No, I'm so thankful to Kendra, Alexis, and the entire Make the Road team. And thank you all my students, all the students, staff, advisors, faculty who took time to join our session today. We are so grateful to you, and LHI is really, really like owes to you for making this time to help these our vision like possible, that we need to be there for each other. We need to walk together. Only then we can have our we need to advocate for ourselves as well as for our community, especially for those who need us, and we have to be there for them. So thank you for making this journey possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Bye, Kendra. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for everything.
Have a good day, Stefania, and thank you again.
Bye.